Hey everyone, so I've got an interesting tidbit to share about the world of mediumship. And this is a facet of mediumship that most people are not aware of. And I'll be honest, I don't know if all mediums can do this or not, but I would assume that they probably can. But it's something I have done since the get-go is communicate with the souls of people who are still physically present and experiencing this reality. So whether it is someone who is unconscious, perhaps experiencing dementia, perhaps someone who is just emotionally unavailable and not really communicating with a loved one at the given time for whatever may be the reason, even people who have always been nonverbal. And so 2 examples I'll share, and this is part of what started up was yesterday I had a client session where a sister connected with her brother, and the brother experienced recently a tragedy that has left him in a state where he cannot communicate. So he's in a coma presently, and they're having to make some really tough decisions about his care. And he came through full force, using the language that he uses, his mannerisms. He was giving me all kinds of information that is evidential to him and stuff that she was able to validate right then and there. And he did come through letting her know what his wishes were. And it validated what she was already feeling, but that's pretty significant validation, when you're having to make tough choices that impact so many lives, not just the individual that you're communicating with, but, it affects family and friends. And so I found that to be a situation that I am not participating in very frequently. However, it is not uncommon for someone in that state who cannot speak for themselves to come through in mediumship. Another example I'll give is working with a client and his sister, where the male has not been verbal his entire life. So he was born with a certain condition that has left his body in a significant state of paralysis, and he cannot communicate. That has always been the case. And he and I and his sister have worked together for several years now, and he will come through and give information about the caregivers that he prefers that help with his care. His sister's his primary caregiver, and so she's in charge of all that, so it's useful information. He will talk about areas of his body that are causing him more pain, and oftentimes she can understand what I'm getting because maybe he's experiencing more swelling, or his fingers tend to curl and go inward, and so she'll take a look then and notice the left side's worse than the right. He will come in and talk about the shows that he likes that she puts on the television or the music that they listen to. And it's really amazing for her, for all of us, to be able to experience this level of communication with someone who cannot express themselves physically. And so these are just a few examples of the ways that I've channeled loved ones over the years who are still physically living. It has happened since I started over 10 years ago, and it continues even to today. And in fact, I've noticed over the last probably 4 or 5 years that communication with living who need to get certain things off of their chest, or just tap and tune in with their loved ones so that they know, like, hey, I know what's going on, and here's what I need, or here's what I would prefer. It's so special and so amazing. And so I just thought I'd share that today because it's been coming up a lot lately. And that is a facet of mediumship that most people just don't realize even exists. And so if you've ever wondered about mediumship and the ability to communicate with people that you cannot verbally work with on your own, consider the mediumship side, because it's such a gift to be able to work with every soul physically living and still living on the other side. And so give it a try. Thank you for listening.